Welcome, friends, to the Fake Nerd Awards 2022. I'm here on the red carpet with Ben Magnet, Brandon T. McClure, and Ryan Eliopoulos. I'm sorry, I tripped over my tongue. Eliopoulos. And we are here to find out who has won in our many categories.
What does it say?
Don't go in there after me award.
Oh.
It's a Dundee.
That's so good.
Sparks, what are you wearing?
I am wearing the Broadway Lion King hoodie. It's a good family classic, to be honest with you.
Yeah. What's the brand? I don't know how they do this.
The brand is Disney. I'm really excited for this, guys. Frankly, I'm surprised we've gotten over 5 years into this podcast and never thought of doing this before.
Well, I've thought about it.
Right, but you never articulated that, and so thus here we are.
Yes,
here we are. I'm excited about this. We got a lot of great feedback for how promptly and shortly, but honestly, we decided on this pretty late into leading up to this episode. So the fact that we got roughly 26 total voters for this is including us four is still really cool. Really grateful to everybody who voted. Thank you so much for engaging with us on Instagram and Twitter, and to our personal friends in our lives who also contributed to this. I look forward to, in the future, maybe planning this a little better, going harder on it next time. But for now, this is going to be a hell of a show. I will take us through the categories one by one, and we're going to talk about the nominees, who we voted for, and then I will reveal the winner. We're going to start off with me mentioning that a fan of the podcast and friend, John Radley, joked about a write-in with me for Gator Loki for Goodest Boy Award. I then told him that I'd thought of this and that I realized we could have done a Best Animal Sidekick Award for this year because there were so many. But to be honest, I knew that it was Eagles to fly away with, so I just left it out. And at that, John was like, "Oh my God, I didn't even think about Eagly." Okay, we're going to move into our first category. Our first category is for, real quick, I should establish this. Our criteria when we were picking out our nominees and everything, it had to be something that we talked about for the show. And most of the time that meant that it had to be something we did as a topic. It could be something we covered in our weekly recaps if we talked about it enough. Our lowest level for entry had to be that at least 2 of the fake nerds needed to have engaged with it this year. We are going from the time frame of the beginning of 2021 all the way up to the release of Turning Red. So we'll get started. The first category is Best Realized Character. Our nominees are Catwoman from The Batman, Gus from Sweet Tooth, Vigilante from Peacemaker, Starro from The Suicide Squad, and the Mandarin from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I will go first and say that I personally actually ended up voting for the Mandarin. I really appreciated Tony Leung's performance, but also just the way that they took pretty racist caricature of a character and turned it into something very thoughtful and well handled, especially having to maneuver around the history of the Iron Man 3 stuff. So thought it was really good. That was me.
I'm pretty sure I voted for Catwoman.
You did.
Okay, good. Because she's had multiple on-screen iterations. And even though I love Batman Returns, that is not a very good representation of the character. So I thought that Zoe Kravitz did just a phenomenal job of representing what I love about the character in all those aspects. Yeah.
I was going to say Catwoman or Vigilante, but I ended up with Starro.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
These are all good choices.
Because that was Starro, right? That was Starro.
Yeah, no, that was great. To Ryan's point, I was really happy with all the nominees we ended up with, to be honest, in every category. I thought it was killer. Ben?
I also picked Starro.
Nice.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh man, I'm probably like the only one who picked Starro the Conqueror from Suicide Squad.
I was very close to doing Vigilante because I really like Freddie Stroma.
Vigilante was great, but at the same time, the reason why I picked Starro was like, I never would have thought I would see Starro the Conqueror on the big screen like I did, and he was done so well with like the little starfish that takes over the hive mind.
I was happy floating in space amongst the stars.
And also that Starro wasn't like, yo, I'm here to conquer Earth just because F all y'all. He was like, I just want to go back into space because screw you.
At the end there, he was like, no, leave me the island. You leave me all the people of the island. We're good.
Yeah, but Starro was great. I thought it was like, that's freaking Starro the
Sparks?
Conqueror.
I love that. I love that. There were some votes for Starro, but this is our only category that ended in a tie. And not only did it end in a tie, it ended in a 3-way tie.
Oh,
What?
Yes.
Amazing.
I really thought it would break at some point. I kept getting like some votes trickling in, and it still just maintained a 3-way tie.
Beautiful.
It is a 3-way tie. So our winner is Catwoman
Mhm.
from the Batman. Also, Vigilante from Peacemaker. And also the Mandarin from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
wow.
All 3 of them
Wow.
with 8 votes each.
Yo, man, those are some good characters, if I do say so myself.
They are.
It's true.
Really great. Really impressed with that.
There can only be
is-
one.
It is our only tie. Everything else, even if it was close, managed to edge out by 1.
Nice.
Best duo is our next category, and our nominees are Kate Bishop and Yelena Belova from Hawkeye, Loki and Morbius from Loki, Batman and Jim Gordon from The Batman, Peacemaker and Vigilante from Peacemaker, and Vi and Caitlin from Arcane. I voted for Kate Bishop and Yelena Belova from Hawkeye for sure. I definitely did. I love them so much. I can't wait for more of them. I'm a sucker for it.
I was going to pick them, but I ended up picking Peacemaker and Vigilante because they had more screen time together. If there was equal screen time, I probably would have picked Yelena because she's great. But just I love those 2 dummies. I love them.
I almost did Vi and Caitlin because of my love for Arcane. But I did Batman and Jim Gordon only for the line, only because I kept remembering, like, you gotta get out of here, man.
Oh my god, the way he says "man" all the time, I love it.
After I saw the Batman a second time, it was really hard. I got very close to picking Batman and Jim Gordon. I love them so much. I think in our review, I don't think we gave quite as much credit as we should have to Jeffrey Wright's Gordon. I think he is actually holding that movie together kind of well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Before we go, we got some people in the chat. We got Armida+16 saying, "I vote Vigilante." And then
wait, we're not doing.
That was
we're not.
that was for the previous category.
All
right.
Don't do all of them. And Pi, I'm happy you're here. Don't call it your vote. The voting is done.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm the outlier. I picked Morbius and Loki.
Mobius
and Loki.
Dr.
Yeah.
Michael Morbius.
Damn you, Jared Leto. Yeah. So I picked Loki and Mobius. I just love the chemistry between Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston. I almost said Tom Holland. Tom Hiddleston on screen. Just like to see their relationship grow from like both of them like hating each, or like Loki hating his guts to him becoming one of his best friends by the end of it and actually caring for him. I thought it was really great. And and there are times where, you're watching YouTube, some of the clips from the Disney Plus shows come up as ads. I actually tend to watch the Loki and Mobius one quite a bit just because I like how Mobius talks to him. He's like, "I'm Mobius, by the way." And you just see
I love jet skis.
the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Works.
Our winner for this category is Kate Bishop and Yelena Belova from Hawkeye.
Oh, congratulations.
Hi.
Congratulations, Kate and Elena. I hope you have a happy future.
Best of friends.
Me too. Best reveal is our next category. The nominees are He Who Remains in Loki. Omni-Man kills the Guardians of the Globe for Invincible. Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin from Hawkeye.
Vanessa.
Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man No Way Home. Myrn is a Butterfly from Peacemaker. And Starscream learns about Unicron from Transformers War for Cybertron.
Crazy.
Which I have to be honest with you, I almost gave it to the Transformers one when I really thought about it.
Wow.
But I did end up giving it to He Who Remains from Loki, because when that elevator opened and Jonathan Majors was there, I lost my shit. That's where I landed.
I also picked He Who Remains, and I was on the same couch as you.
Yeah.
Going, I can't believe they did it. Yeah, that's MCU is going to be hard to top that reveal for me.
I think part of what instigated me like really wanted to go for that is because it wasn't just like an end of the episode kind of thing. It was like you got him in the elevator and then he was there for the whole rest of the time. So important. The effect was massive.
And the future, yeah.
I picked Starscream learns about Unicron. I wanted to give that moment some love. Because I think that is an incredible show-changing reveal. That was just like we talked about on the War for Cybertron a special we did for Animation Station. But like when he sees Unicron and he realizes that he is worthless, that he has no purpose in life, and he was like, in order for us to beat Unicron, we need to befriend the Autobots. This thing is coming. And then like Megatron, there's one big difference between you and me, Megatron. I can fly, and pushes off. Oh, baby. So good.
It's a pretty incredible moment. I was very tempted up to you nominating that. I was honestly pretty confident I was going to give it to Mern as a butterfly.
Yeah.
Because that was such
that is a good ending of an episode. Yeah.
Maybe the basic answer, but I don't care. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. I don't care. That moment had me jumping for joy. Well, not physically, but we knew it was coming, and the way the film did it was such a good. It wasn't ham-fisted. It was such a good reveal, and it wasn't like immediate. You see Andrew Garfield, then immediately Tobey Maguire. You see Andrew Garfield. He has a few minutes of solo screen time. Then Tobey Maguire comes in.
He just like walks in like, "Hi, I'm my guy."
Yeah, and then you see the connection of like the two Peters, and it's like, "Oh, you're Peter Parker. I'm also Peter Parker." It was so good. So I had to give it to Toby and Andrew.
And the winner is Sparks.
The winner is Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire for Spider-Man No Way Home, and it was not close.
That's a popular vote. I get it.
Yeah,
it's also a great moment as well. So can't get mad at it.
All the nominees are pretty great. Best live action scene. The nominees are Barry enters the Speed Force. Zack Snyder.
The number one fan moment at the Oscars.
The Batman car chase from the Batman.
This guy's crazy.
The bus scene from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Godzilla versus Kong in Hong Kong from Godzilla versus Kong.
Mm-hmm.
And the Spider-Man fighting the villains at the Statue of Liberty from Spider-Man No Way Home. My vote actually ended up going to Godzilla vs. Kong in Hong Kong. I really dig that action scene. I revisited just that action scene to see if I really felt that way about it. I actually ended up revisiting all of these in just their moments, even because I saw the Batman again. And I had to give it to Godzilla vs. Kong. I was like, man, that is some incredible fight stuff with kaiju, I gotta say.
This is one of the hardest categories for me, except for the bus scene by Shang-Chi. I like that scene, but like all of these other scenes, I think they're all great. Like I think the Speed Force scene in Justice League is incredible. Like I truly love that moment. It is one of my favorite moments in a superhero movie. The Godzilla Kong fight is incredible. You could see all the action. Like I have a lot of problems with that movie, but boy howdy, they know how to shoot that movie. I picked Spider-Man fight because seeing them show up is one thing. Having them fight together and like swing off of each other and like villains, like dealing with each other's villains and stuff, like that is true comic book pop fun. So I picked Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I was very close to picking the Batman car chase. I love that chase sequence, but ultimately I went for Godzilla vs. Kong in Hong Kong. Yeah. The choreography of that sequence is really good. The ridiculousness of it, the way it's shot, when the guy comes when the guys come out of the sinkhole or whatever, and they like do the ride around Godzilla and Kong, the axe,
bro. I don't even know if it's the same scene, but when Godzilla does a roar down to summon Kong up,
that's just before,
that's still one of the sickest things I've ever seen in a movie. Like, come at me.
I really like that. I like that movie. I like that moment a lot. That moment makes the movie, so I had to go there.
Yeah. Ben?
Good means.
I was this close to put Spider-Man, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, what just made me just like, that was so good. It was so well done. Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Goddamn. I mean, it was To me, it was a short sequence, but to me, that bit was everything I remember as a little kid. I got the old Universal movie that they made. I know it was made in the 60s, so it can never be that good. But to me, that was what I wanted as a child, and it was amazing.
Real quickly, that movie has Godzilla charge an axe with that Kong is holding. That's brilliant.
It does. It really does. You also get the reference to the eat your vegetables meme, but at the same time, like, to me, I mean, yeah, Godzilla's just blasting into Hong Kong to summon Kong is like, come at me, bro. And when he finally gets Kong down and just roars in his face, it's like, you stay down. I was like, this is so freaking rad.
I like the movie a lot. Okay, the winner?
I love so much that you guys had that passion for it. That passion was not shared. The winner is, I honestly was surprised it was this, of all things. It was the bus scene from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and it was not close.
Wow.
It is a good scene.
Overwhelmingly large vote.
Wow.
Okay. That's a good. That's
I like that scene quite a bit.
You know what? You know what's cool is it means that like the physical stunt action stuck in people's minds more than all the rest of it.
Yeah.
That's good.
And that's really cool.
Yeah.
We will move on now to the next category, which is Best Cliffhanger Moment. The nominees are Kang's statue from Loki. John Walker decapitates a flag smasher from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was Agatha all along, WandaVision. Arrival of the Chroma Conclave, Legend of Vox Machina. And the Arcane finale from Arcane. And I have to be honest, this was one of the ones where I knew at the moment that we picked out the nominees. It's John Walker decapitates a flag smasher for me. There is little that left me like kind of sitting there stuck wondering what the hell is going to happen now, and not expecting that ending, not expecting what that being the way we were going to go forward in Falcon and Winter Soldier. There's not a ton of praise I usually throw around in that show, but the moment when he pulls that shield up with the blood on it, holy crap, that's an MCU iconic moment, to be honest. In a like, ooh, oh no way, but like incredible.
That is a good point, and I didn't give it enough credit because I was thinking of the entire show and what happens afterwards as being less impressive than the scene itself. I did pick Kang's statue because much like the finale of that show, it's like, holy shit, like he just won whatever like evil Kang just won. What does this mean for the future? And I'm like, that's the end of the show. And I'm like, oh shit, that's like the future is exciting. So I picked that, but like yours, you give me a run for my money of wanting to pick that though. I forgot how like impactful that was.
It's interesting that so far all of these have been the TV shows from the MC from last year. I picked it was Agatha all along.
That's a good one too.
Because that was something that we really like we're talking about, like it's got to be Agatha. She's got to be Agatha. And up until that point, like having the reveal, at least so we thought, was that we were right. It was Agatha. She's responsible for all of this. Whether or not what they did with it after, that's debatable. But like with that moment, like got me super hyped for WandaVision. More hyped than I was ever for WandaVision.
Yeah.
And I killed the dog too.
Before we go to Ben's vote, you bring up a good point that I kind of wanted to acknowledge. What I really appreciate about us getting to do these Fake Nerd Awards and why I will want to continue it going forward is it gives us a moment to like put some spotlights on things we talked about in the year that didn't go to our top 10 because our top 10 was much more vast than what we consumed related to the podcast. And because of that, we're actually acknowledging some of the positives of the MCU Disney Plus shows, which were totally snubbed by all of our top 10s.
True. Because like overall, like I don't think these shows are top 10 worthy maybe, but there are certainly top 10 worthy moments for sure.
Yeah.
If I were to do another moment series,
Ben.
I mean, when I nominated it and you accepted it and we agreed upon it, because my nomination was for Chroma Conclave at the end of Vox Machina, because that's when the dragons show up. And if you listen to the podcast, you know what happens. And it's like, oh my God, dragons are here. This is so great. But the more I thought about it, that's not what I voted for. As a great moment as it is, the one thing that truly just blew my mind was Agatha all along. And that's what I voted for. Because the whole time when we were watching the show, we were like, something's wrong with her. And if I might be misremembering, but I do remember the Halloween episode where she's talking to Vision and she's like, you're dead, dead, dead. And she's constantly going like, okay, so it's not her. She's part of the play. And then when you see the dungeon and her like, and the song goes in, how we were humming that song for weeks.
I'm singing it right now
on iTunes. Made a
It
lot
was
of money.
yeah. So for me, yeah, we were all hyped. We were all like, I cannot wait to see the next episode of WandaVision.
Well,
because of
Sparks?
Agatha all along.
Which one?
The winner is It Was Agatha All Along.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
I really
It's on
love.
the hanger.
I really love Pie's comment. Pie's latest comment said, "But guessing Arcane one, Pie. Only 2 people in the world saw Arcane, and you're looking at 2 of them."
That's not true. Arcane's much more popular.
No, I know, but like,
Yeah.
the joke was in our circle. Unfortunately, Sparks and I, we are the only 2 who watched it.
I do
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of you guys go.
No, I was gonna say that I do appreciate Pie not talking about Chroma Conclave too. So I'm like, oh yeah, someone else saw it.
Okay.
The Arcane finale was really good. It almost got it for me. It definitely was tough.
Yeah.
Our next category is best line. Our nominees are You Dad, I'd Still Have You from Invincible. What is Grief, If Not Love Persevering from WandaVision? If You Aim at Nothing, You Hit Nothing. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Peacemaker, What a Joke. The Suicide Squad. Eddie, I apologize that I can't bend the heart. Emotional pain. It hits much deeper. It lasts much longer. Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
Revisiting the line, You Dad, I'd Still Have You, at this moment in my life, the impact of that felt harder from the end of Invincible. So I had to give it to You Dad, I'd Still Have You. That was my vote.
I also picked You Dad, I Still Have You. Really, really powerful shit. Good shit.
I picked Peacemaker. What a joke. It is a line that spawned an incredible series. I had to go for it.
It's a good line.
Yeah. I picked What is Grief But Love Persevering from WandaVision because that moment was such a. It was, I mean, yes, it was not to take away from the other moments, but it was also a very powerful moment and a good look into Wanda's character of how she was super close to Pietro and when the line was said in her life. So to me, that line is when I think about that line, I also think about Mewtwo's line from Pokemon movies. Like, man, this is some influential shit spoken by fictional characters that a lot of people just brush off. And it's like, yo,
Mewtwo and Vision are two scholars.
I pray to the gods of Mewtwo and Vision.
Yes,
the winner is, by a lot, What is Grief, If Not Love Persevering.
It's a hot line.
WandaVision.
It's a good line. Yeah.
All these lines are good.
They're all good. We'll go on to the next category.
Yeah.
Best animated action scene. Omni-Man versus Marc, Invincible. The Final Battle, Mitchells versus the Machines. The Car Chase, Lupin III, The First. The Watcher versus Ultron, What If? And Echo versus Jinx, Arcane. I knew going into this one, this probably wasn't going to get it, but I firmly believe it should. I voted for Echo versus Jinx from Arcane. That is an incredible animated show. That is bar none my favorite part of that show because of the animation of it. It is incredible. And it's tied with a great needle drop. I just favorite moment of the show, to be honest. Echo versus Jinx, I think about it all the time. That was me.
Right.
I picked Omni-Man versus Marc because it's not just a great fight. It also includes like a great line that we talked about. But it shows that like we can have adult animation that is truly like brutal. Like put your face in front of a train and kill like hundreds of people. Brutal. And this is his dad doing it to his son. And I'm like, wow, man, we really made it to like the point where we can just like make this shit. And it's like emotional and it's like physically like demanding and like it's so much shit's happening. So like I picked that because it's a big fight inside and out.
Yeah.
Really wanted to give it to the Mitchells versus the Machines because I really liked that fight, but it went to Echo versus Jinx for me.
Yeah.
Because that
hope
fight
that-
scene
I hope that wins.
so good. Oh, I love that show.
I know I haven't seen Arcane. I probably would change my mind when the second I do, but my vote went to the Ultron versus Watcher. That's just
It's a good fight.
that was such a
best fight in
cool
the show.
fight. That was such a cool fight, and just to see Ultron like he was just wrecking other people's shit. And just
There's a bit where he punches, where like someone's punching someone, and like universes are changing around him. It's awesome.
exactly. I'm like, man, this like visually, it was a treat for the eyes, and just going through different multiverses. I was like, man, this is great. So I had to give it to Ultron versus the Watcher.
And the winner is
That is a solid scene. And I do not think our pool of voters, enough of them saw Arcane, because that is not our winner. But apparently, quite a large pool of them have seen the winner, which is the final battle, Mitchell's versus the Machine.
Hey,
not sad about that.
there you go.
Pretty cool, pretty impressive.
Got that Rihanna
Oh,
song in it. Hell
I
yeah.
I like that. I like that movie a whole lot.
Should've went off here.
Our next category is Best Needle Drop. The nominees are Sweet, Sweet Fantasy, Free Guy. Go Ask Alice, The Matrix Resurrections. Do You Want to Taste It, Peacemaker. I Ain't Got No Body, The Suicide Squad. For those who might not remember, this is Harley's breakout scene. Nothing Else Matters, Jungle Cruise.
I can't believe you put this on here.
I mean, it was too shocking of a moment. Like I was like, this will not win, but it has to be acknowledged.
I remember being in the
I will
theater.
nominate.
I remember being in the theaters when it was happening, so I'm like, I get it. It's
Yeah.
funny.
Wasn't I sitting next to you, Ryan, when that needle drop
Yeah.
happened?
Oh yeah, we talk to each other. Oh,
And
yeah.
everybody's like, what's happening right
Is this
now?
good?
Is that Metallica?
And our last nominee for this category is Something in the Way, the Batman. I gave it to Do You Want to Taste It, Peacemaker, because not only is it an incredible intro song and a great jam, and it revived a career, and it's awesome to watch, and I never skip that intro, but they also play by anime rules, and it's also in the final action scene of the finale, and that puts it over for me, baby.
Yes. If I also picked Do You Want to Taste It, if it wasn't in the final action scene, anime, as you said, then it probably wouldn't have won. But like they turned it straight up to the anime final boss action moment. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to taste it. And then it was a great action scene. Lots of machete fights, good stuff.
Only because I knew it wasn't going to win. I picked Nothing Else Matters from Jungle Cruise.
That's not how these work.
I just wanted to give it some love.
Sure.
I really like that moment. I think it's really, really weird and dumb.
Yeah.
But I really love how hard they're just like, yeah, The Rock is Spanish and Metallica is playing, and like we're gonna have a good time.
Of all of these, the one that got the closest to touching Peacemaker, because I love that montage so much, was Matrix Resurrections.
Yeah.
The Go Ask Alice moment is so good.
There's a lot that I almost did, but I was just like, I'm just gonna give it some love. I'm just gonna give Jungle Cruise some love.
The one Jungle Cruise love that we'll have on this podcast.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
award show. Yeah.
So
Ben?
you guys, two of you guys already mentioned this, but I also picked Do You Want to Taste It because I am also a sucker for when, because of anime, like there's a part during Gundam Build Fighters where the main theme song plays during the final fight scene, and I was hyped when I was watching that anime. And then when you hear the do you really want to taste it? When they go to fight, I was like, oh hell yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I voted for Do You Want to Taste It. And also I've been listening to that song quite a bit, and it's a great song.
And the winner is
The winner is Do You Want to Taste It,
Yeah.
Peacemaker. It was not close.
Thank God.
oh darn it.
Sorry, Metallica,
Dad.
not this year.
Oh dag nabbit.
All right. Yeah,
Quick question.
real unsurprised, but very pleased.
Was Brandon the only vote for Jungle Cruise?
No, one other person voted for it.
Okay.
Oh yay.
We'll move on to the next category, which is Best Cameo. The nominees are Isaiah Bradley, Falcon and the Winter Soldier; Thanos, What If T'Challa Became a Star-Lord; Matt Murdock, Spider-Man No Way Home; Old Loki, and the Justice League, Peacemaker. I gave it some real thought, and I really, really like Carl Lumbly's performance in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and his presence in the show I think is pivotal to what is great about it.
Mhm.
So I gave it to Isaiah Bradley, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Nice.
Nice.
I gave it to the Justice League Peacemaker. I realize how much I love Peacemaker because it's everything it's been nominated for. Like I chose it, but the reason I picked it because all of these other characters are appearing. This can sound weird. Are appearing in the shows as they are as their characters. You know, like Daredevil showing up as Daredevil, right? The Justice League is showing up not as the PG-13 movie that everyone knows. It's showing up in a rated R Peacemaker show where they can swear and get made fun of and be characters that they haven't been able to really be, even if it's for a little bit. But, you know, seeing those characters swear and like be jovial with each other is something we've never seen. And it's happened because of Peacemaker. So I picked that scene because it's like the closest I've ever felt to the Justice League being a team.
To your point, and what was close for me, Thanos is appearing as a good dad in the T'Challa episode, which is not how he usually is.
That's true.
I get you on Justice League and Peacemaker. It is a pretty incredible cameo.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm stupid. I was mixing up episodes. For some reason, no, that is T'Challa was a good. Thanos was a good dad. That is a very good point. Yes. I picked animated, so I just didn't think about it.
I picked old Loki from Loki. Richard Grant is incredible in that role. I love everything where he's just so sick of Loki. He's just so sick of it. And I'm just like, and his kind of like, you know, it's all we do. We just betray each other. And what's the purpose? What's the point? And his like, when it goes to like the heartfeltness of how he missed his brother, all the way to just glorious purpose. I go back to Richard Grant as old Loki all the time. I
for sure
love that role.
It's very good.
I feel bad because I brought him up in these conversations. I didn't vote for him. Him being Richard Grant as old Loki. Instead, I voted for Matt Murdock. I don't know if that's the basic.
Pretty good.
Okay, the reason why I voted for Matt Murdock over old Loki because I loved old Loki and Richard Grant in that episode. But the thing is, Matt Murdock was just, to me, was validation because it confirms that he's in the MCU. They're not dancing around it anymore. It's like here you are, shut up, he's there. Along with Wilson Fisk in Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So it's a good 2 weeks.
Yeah. So seeing Murdoch's cane and him catching it and going, "I'm a really good lawyer," just being that, that little sassy Matt Murdock, I was like, "Hell's yes!" That's what I wanted to see, and to me, that's the best one.
Sparks, and the winner is.
The winner is by a lot. Matt Murdock, Spider-Man No Way Home, which I have to say I'm really happy to see that many votes go to it because I'm like, there are that many people that are really happy for Daredevil to be canon. And
yes,
that's awesome.
that is the point there. That people care about Daredevil, which is good.
Yeah.
Really great. Our next category is Best Costume Design. And I'm going to stop for a moment before I announce the nominees and say that Ryan did write into me Dune, which would have been for Jacqueline West and Bob Morgan, but we did not nominate Dune as much as Ryan felt that we should have. Instead, we have Michael Crow for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Sammy Sheldon for The Eternals, Jacqueline Duran for The Batman, Cappy Ireland for Mortal Kombat, and Judianna Makovsky for The Suicide Squad. I voted for The Batman. I really liked the Batman costume, the design of it. I was all the more impressed with it when I was really looking at it a lot in the second showing. So I went with the Batman.
Nice.
Right. I voted for Dune because I can't believe this isn't on the list. You guys are effing ridiculous. But I actually chose Mortal Kombat. I don't even think it's maybe the best one on this list, but I think some of those designs are real sick and nobody cares about Mortal Kombat. So that's that one for me is like, yo, man, those Sub-Zero and Scorpion designs are hella good.
Yeah.
They are.
It almost went to Mortal Kombat for me as well because of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. But I really like Captain America's suit, how they transferred that from the comics. It looks perfect. Oh, yeah. Sam Wilson comes through that window. It's gorgeous, and that clinched the win for me. So I picked Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Movie so bad. I want that next movie so bad.
Me too.
I also almost put down Mortal Kombat, but then I thought about it, and I liked the costumes and how many costumes there were in Suicide Squad. I picked Suicide Squad. There's some. Don't get me wrong, Mortal Kombat has great designs, but there was a lot of really good practical concepts in Suicide Squad, and I'm like, it has to go to Suicide Squad for me.
Sparks, winner.
The winner is Jacqueline Duran, the Batman.
Ooh,
nice, good.
All right,
that's a very good costume.
Yeah.
It is.
Great
really
costume
good.
design. Awesome. We're really happy for them. Our next category is Best Supporting Actor. The nominees are Willem Dafoe, Spider-Man No Way Home; Sir Ben Kingsley, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings; Freddie Stroma, Peacemaker; Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man No Way Home; and Colin Farrell, The Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I voted for Andrew Garfield. I think he's exceptional most of the time, but especially there, I feel so much raw emotion from him in that film, and I always love that. So I definitely went with Andrew Garfield pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I, in a similar vein, but oppositely, I picked Willem Dafoe because, like an Andrew Garfield, that is someone who puts his whole butt into a performance. And boy, howdy, that dude is just chewing that scenery. Oh my God, he's having so much fun. He's getting punched to death and he's laughing about it. Like, man, that dude is having so much fun. It just like makes me think of like, there's no way it would make sense, but like I just want him to be the Green Goblin. Like I just want him to continue somehow make it work. He's the Green Goblin that I want after seeing this movie again. Like I love No Way Home. No Way Home? That's what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Far From Home? I love No Way Home so much. And it's mostly for Willem Dafoe. Because that dude just brings it.
Right.
I picked Andrew Garfield because if he can't win an Oscar, he can win a fakie.
There you go. Fakie.
All I have to say is this. I'm something of a scientist myself.
Ben gets
No,
it.
good.
It's Willem Dafoe. For Andrew Garfield's great. They're all great. But
They're all great.
You know what? I want to add something because you talked about how like Matt Murdock felt like validation. Andrew Garfield felt like validation for me. Like, yes, he was a great Spider-Man.
He was a great Spider-Man. I agree.
Because I didn't care for the back half of Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I always thought he was an incredible Spider-Man that I wish got so much more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would have to echo that sense of validation, which is why I went that way. And the winner is beating Willem Dafoe by a single vote, Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man.
Wow.
I ain't mad about it.
Congratulations, Andrew Garfield.
You won something, finally.
You did it.
We gave it to you.
Our next category is Best Story Idea. The nominees for this are A.C. Bradley for What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart Instead of His Hands, from What If; Christian Link and Alex Yee for the entire season of Arcane; Mike Rianda and Jeff Rowe for Mitchells vs. the Machines; Brian Duffield for Love and Monsters; Lana Wachowski, David Mitchell, and Alexander Hemmon for The Matrix Resurrections.
Real quickly before you continue, Sam Sullivan has a comment that I think we should bring up.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I'm just making sure because I know you said you're going to do it.
You do the thing.
Did you say whole butt because Andrew had a butt pad? No, but that makes it extra juicy now.
I don't believe he was the one with the butt pad. I don't believe it was him.
It wasn't Tom Holland.
I might have been Tom Holland. Andrew Garfield has it. We've seen it. It's a glorious butt.
We've had a lot of great comments. But for these nominees, my vote did go to What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart Instead of His Hands. I was just really happy with that story as an idea, which kind of surprised me that that's where I landed, but it is where I landed on it.
That is definitely one of the better What If episodes. I picked The Matrix because what do you do after you make a trilogy and you have to come back and like make a movie you don't want to make? You make a movie about not wanting to do the things you have to make. And like the boldness and like just being allowed to make that movie. Like I give Warner Brothers credit. So yeah, I pick The Matrix 4: Resurrections.
I love it.
I was really close to picking The Matrix Resurrections because of how much I loved it. I realized that I was torn because Mitchells vs. the Machines and The Matrix Resurrections have very similar themes about self-identity that I really resonated towards. So like I was trying to pick between two stories that are about love and about self-identity and about loving yourself. And so I was like, okay, what do I do? Ultimately, Mitchell vs. the Machines clinched the win for me because of how much I love that movie.
Clinched it.
I picked Love and Monsters.
That's a good
Yeah.
one that no one talks about. Yeah.
I picked it because it was different. It's like, hey, it's like you have those stories where it's like, okay, here's a boy who falls in love with a girl. She lives hundreds of miles or maybe thousands of miles away, and he has to trek all the way from one end of the country to the other to go see her. But the fact that like, in this one though, there's like giant monsters roaming the world, and you gotta be very careful about it, which cranks it up to 11. It's not just like, oh, I don't have enough money to make the train, or I have to do these odd jobs in this podunk city. No, you got to make sure you don't die from getting eaten by a giant toad, and I think that's great.
I like that movie a lot.
Yeah.
And the winner is?
The winner is AC Bradley. What if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? What
Jolly
if?
good.
Nice.
And we'll go on. The next category is Best New MCU Character. The nominees are Yelena Belova, Kate Bishop, Shang-Chi, Echo, and Sylvie. My vote went to my girl, Yelena. Couldn't help myself. I thought I could. I thought I'd analyze it with less of my full self put into it and go, what's really great about this? And I went, Florence Pugh. Florence Pugh's really great about this. It's Yelena Belova for me.
Nice.
This was really hard because it was either going to be Kate Bishop or Yelena for me. And I really struggled, and I highlighted Yelena Sparks, and then I erased it, and I put Kate Bishop, and I sent it to you. And I don't think that might have been the right answer, because the more I think about it, the more I think if I pick Yelena, is that going to change it at all?
No.
Okay, then I'm changing it. I am picking Yelena because I'm just thinking about her eating macaroni. I'm like, no, yeah, I like her a lot.
I picked Kate Bishop. I love Haley Steinfeld. I really like Kate Bishop.
I like her too. Yeah.
She was my favorite new inclusion to the MCU last year by far.
She's really great.
I picked Shang-Chi. I like him a lot.
How dare you?
Yeah, pick a man, of course.
I had a really fun time with this movie. I really like his character, and I really like how he was like, yo, I don't want to do this. I'm just going to live a quiet or semi-quiet life in San Francisco, chilling with Aquafina and singing karaoke when I should be asleep.
The winner is Yelena Belova.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
It's very good.
Poser. Don't be such a poser.
She took the world by storm.
Did you see that? That was really cool.
Her fake accent. I love her fake Russian accent so much.
There's so many pockets.
Yeah.
It's like, don't worry, Kate Bishop's like, are you just saying that just because you know everything about me? He's like, kind of, yeah.
All right. Our next category is Best Makeup and Hairstyling. The nominees are Nadia Stacy, Naomi Dawn, and Julia Vernon for Cruella. Laurie McCoy Bell, Eleanor Sabaduika, and Tim Huijing for Malignant. Naomi Dawn, Michael Marino, and Nikita Ray for The Batman. Alan Cook and Nicole Rodriguez for PG Psycho Gorman. Crystal Gomez and Sabrina Wilson for The Book of Boba Fett. Mine went to Malignant for this one. Even though I really like Cruella. I wanted to give Malignant some praise because I really love what they did with Malignant. So yeah, it was Malignant for me. I knew I was fighting an uphill battle.
So after Cruella won an Oscar, I was like, it doesn't need my help. So I also picked Malignant because Gabriel is just a wonderful little dude. And I just love his stupid face coming out of the back of her head. Oh, I love it. Throw some more chairs, please.
It's time to cut out the cancer.
Yeah.
I picked Malignant too because I very much like Malignant. PG Psycho Gorman almost got it for me because of how cool a lot of the prosthetic work is there.
Me too.
But like the face coming out of the skull and when we see the prosthetic with the little hand, Ben
loved Malignant.
Well, actually, I wasn't super hot on this movie when we reviewed it, but I gave it my vote because the makeup was amazing and it was Psycho Gorman.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I wasn't. You guys know I wasn't super hot on that movie. I wasn't like that movie didn't really grab me, but I cannot deny how great the prosthetic work was on that entire movie. Every single creature and alien that we saw looked gorgeous, and I'm like. I mean, yeah, the story might not do it, but that makeup team Tip of the hat to
I
them.
just think of like the line where she's like, we have to like look out for like hunky boys. It's like, I do not like hunky boys. Or do
God,
I?
I want
Like,
to.
what?
I want to watch that movie again.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we all went for underdogs. The popular vote took over. It is the winner is Nadia Stacey, Naomi Dunn, and Julia Vernon for Cruella.
Yeah,
That's good. Oscar winning Cruella. It deserves it.
It looked. Hey, those costumes are great. I mean,
okay. Everyone who voted and who watches this, go watch *Malignant* and then come back to us so you've changed your vote.
Watch it with your kids too.
Knowing after the Oscars had happened and when we were picking our nominees, knowing Cruella had won, maybe we should have just taken it out of the category. But because it like steamrolled. All right, we're gonna move on. The next one is Best Supporting Actress. Danielle Brooks for Peacemaker. Mcu Zhang for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Florence Pugh, Hawkeye. Jennifer Holland, Peacemaker. And Jessica Henwick, The Matrix Resurrections. I knew that with Florence Pugh on this list, this was going to be hard. But I gave it to Danielle Brooks for Adebayo and Peacemaker because I adore her. I adore her so much in Peacemaker. I needed to give it to her. I love her and I love everything she does in the show. So that's my vote.
We'll strike out 2 for Adebayo because I also picked Danielle Brooks. These are all really good. These are all really good contenders. I was honestly going back and forth between both of the Peacemaker cast because I think these are both really excellent characters with good arcs. But I think Danielle Brooks did a little more. Not more, but like I think she was exploring more, and she was like, she wasn't as hard dealing with a hard situation. And I just think of that scene where like she's supposed to shoot a guy, and Harcourt shoots him, and she's like, that's stuff. She plays it like vulnerable really, really well. And like the growth of her and Chris's characters, like, yeah, I picked Danielle Brooks.
Yeah,
I almost picked any one of these people. I went back and forth for all of them. But ultimately, I figured that because I went to bat for her so hard when we were nominating, I picked Jessica Henwick from The Matrix Resurrections.
Mm-hmm.
I love her too. She's great.
I really like her role in that movie. I think she's really good. I really like that character. So I really fought for the nomination. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this for you, Jessica Henwick.
There was a part of me that like, I wish the competition wasn't so stiff because I really wanted to support Mcu Zhang because I don't think her performance gets talked about enough as Shang-Chi's sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought she was so good. But it truly needed to be Adebayo for me.
Yeah.
Damn it, now that you guys reminded me about Adebayo, I should have picked Adebayo. But I'm going to stay with my gun. I mean, Adebayo was so good. But at the same time, Sparks is right because my vote went to Mcu Zhang from Shang-Chi.
Nice.
Because she was also so good.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. She doesn't get a lot of love from the movie. When you talk about the characters, it's mostly Shang-Chi, Awkwafina's character, whose name I forget, and, of course, Ben Kingsley. Or Sir Ben Kingsley.
Ben, it's Marvel's Katie. Because you can buy her action figure, and it's called Marvel's Katie. That's who she is.
First name Marvel's, last name Katie.
Ben, I'm really glad you stuck to your guns and went for that vote because she almost got it. It was close. Good. She was 3 away, but she was the closest. But the winner is Florence Pugh, Hawkeye. Should have seen coming for sure.
Seen that coming.
Yeah. Stiff competition on that one.
I can't get mad at the Florence Pugh.
Best finale is our next category. The nominees are Loki, Spider-Man No Way Home, Invincible, The Matrix Resurrections, and No Time to Die.
Spoilers.
Mine went to The Matrix Resurrections. Purely in like closure of the story, of the universe, of those 2 characters in particular. But honestly, at the end of the day, I think about the ending shot of that movie all the time. I want a painting of it. Like, I love that finale so much for what it gives me in conclusion to the entire Matrix story, to the love story of those characters, and the way it makes me feel that I love all these nominees. I had to give it to The Matrix Resurrections.
Right.
Ditto. Matrix Resurrections. This was a tough one because, like, Loki is one of the few MCU shows where I love the finale, and like I thoroughly enjoyed it mostly all the way through. But I just think of like where the Matrix was at in 20 years later, and like again having to make this movie and the type of movie it is, like what a bold finale to be like we're gonna end it our way with happiness, and that's beautiful.
I'm at a point in my life where that kind of story will resonate with me very well. The fact that I know like the bad people talk about are very cynical, but like I don't think the movie is trying to be cynical, and how much it clearly loves the love story between Trinity and Neo, and having that kind of validation that I always thought they were one of the greatest epic love stories of the 21st century. To have that kind of closure for them, of them twirling in the sky together, being the ones.
Come on.
Yeah, Matrix Resurrection.
The smiles on their faces.
Yeah. Matrix Resurrection took it.
Didn't take it for me. Mine went to Spider-Man No Way Home.
Good movie. One of my favorite movies of last year.
Spider-Man No Way Home was a great finale of young teenage Peter's arc, going into, let's say, for sake of argument, let's just say adulthood. It was a great ending arc. You see him still being Spider-Man, despite all the things that's happened, despite his friends not remembering who he is. He's still out there fighting the good fight to honor his aunt. So to me, Spider-Man No Way Home took it, hands down.
And the winner is?
The winner is Spider-Man No Way Home.
Popular movie.
Movie.
Audience, we're going to need to talk about the Matrix Resurrections.
Brandon, it's our most popular video.
That's true.
They know where we're at. They know where to find us on this one.
Right. I'm not giving Matrix crap. Great ending, but to me it was more.
All these finale choices were super solid. Honestly. Our next category is Best Animated Show. The nominees are Invincible, Star Trek Lower Decks, Arcane, Legend of Vox Machina, and Godzilla Singular Point. Y'all know me. You know where I'm at on this. It's Arcane, baby. It's Arcane. It's always Arcane.
This is the first category where I voted for something that I haven't seen, and I voted for Arcane because I know it's the best animated show, and I want it to win because it deserves it. And like these are all good shows on this list, but like I know that's the show that like was like everyone talked about, so like it deserves the win.
I love Invincible. I love Star Trek Lower Decks. I really love Godzilla Singular Point. But I was reading the nominees with my partner, and when I got there, I was like, it's Arcane. There's no question. It's Arcane.
Yeah, baby.
I just wanted to give it some love because, you know me, I love Vox Machina, but I didn't vote for it because it's like, you know what? It's a great show for me, but if I had to compare it, Invincible was better. And to me, Invincible got my vote. Once again, I didn't see Arcane. I didn't see Godzilla Singular Point. If I saw Arcane, I'd probably be singing a different tune, but to me, it was Invincible. I had to give Invincible the vote.
Because of the way voting had gone, I was certain Invincible was going to run away with this one.
Yeah.
But the winner is Arcane.
Yes!
Arcane is best animated show.
Arcane.
Yeah, baby. Ben, you got to watch it.
I'll watch it soon.
Yeah.
I think you both are going to really like it.
I agree. Our next category following in that is best live action show. Our nominees are Peacemaker, Loki, Sweet Tooth, Hawkeye, and WandaVision. Peacemaker, for sure. Hands down, Peacemaker, 100%. I think that show's amazing. Peacemaker all the way, baby.
I want to taste it. It's Peacemaker.
I was pretty close to saying Sweet Tooth.
Very good.
I really like Sweet Tooth. I thought it was a really strong season, but I also did Peacemaker.
I was honestly just glad we nominated it in 2 categories.
Oh, wait, Ben hasn't seen Peacemaker yet, has he? Wait, did you watch it? I don't remember.
Are you being funny right now?
Oh no, we did the episode on it. I forgot. I don't remember. I forgot.
I generally can't remember if he was on that though.
No, it's been like because we did the whole season thing. I forgot. Yeah.
Grayson, yes, you should watch Arcane.
The answer the answer to the question, should I watch Arcane, is always yes.
The answer to should I is Arcane.
Yes.
Arcane.
Oh yeah, you binged it. I remember now, Ben. Yeah, you binged it.
Anyways, to answer who I voted for, all I gotta say is, guys, do you really want to taste it? Yeah, Peacemaker. Of course,
no.
Peacemaker. Of course.
I feel like if all four of us pick it automatically, he should win.
I'll be honest with you. Almost everybody really wants to taste it because the winner is Peacemaker. By a lot.
There is a God.
I'm really glad that many people are loving Peacemaker. Our next category is Best Editing. The nominees are William Hoy and Tyler Nelson for The Batman, Fred Raskin and Christian Wagner for The Suicide Squad, Kirk Morey for Malignant, Greg Levitan for Mitchells vs. the Machines, and Joe Walker for Dune.
Oscar winner, Joe Walker.
Yes, absolutely. Like, Joe Walker won the real thing. But here we are, and I gave this one, you know me, I gave this one a lot of thought. And I have to be honest, I think that there's such incredible pacing and working with what the characters are doing, the actors are doing, and the script is doing for the Suicide Squad. So I ended up going with the Suicide Squad out of all of these. And it was hard because I thought all of these had great editing. Yeah. But it really needed to be the Suicide Squad for me.
Dune pilled. I picked Dune. I just think it's perfectly paced for me. Like it is a long, kind of boring movie that I am never bored in personally. I think there's tons of like hallucination shots that are like really blended together really well. I just think it's a really, really well edited movie. I've heard other people agree. Thankfully.
I did Mitchells vs. the Machines.
Good movie.
I really like how that movie's put together. The cutaways, the sharp editing of it. It's how they incorporated the other animation styles within each frame, like the 2D painter-esque. I really like that movie. I love that movie. I've said a lot about that movie. It was Mitchells vs. the Machines.
I also picked Mitchells vs. Machines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Such a good, just the way that movie goes, and it's a longer animated film, but you don't feel it. You're in it 100% the entire way through. There's no wasted space. There's no wasted scene. I feel, and it's just so well made. It's so well done.
And the winner?
This was almost a 4-way tie.
Wow.
To be honest, it was very, very close, but one edged out above the rest, and it was William Hoy and Tyler Nelson for The Batman.
Nice.
That's a 3-hour movie that I've seen 3 times, and I'm like, yeah, that's a good paced movie. Yeah.
It's really well done. Everything that wasn't Malignant, honestly, they were all keeping neck and neck until The Batman came out on top.
Wow. Very cool.
Sorry, Gabriel.
Really awesome. Like all those movies, incredible editing. That's great.
Yeah.
Our next category is Best Actor. Our nominees are Yahya Abdul-Mateen II for Candyman, which I was just really happy to be able to put him on here because I think he deserves to be up here.
Mm-hmm.
John Cena for Peacemaker. It feels just nice to say Best Actor nominee John Cena. Tom Holland for Spider-Man No Way Home. Robert Pattinson for The Batman. And Keanu Reeves for The Matrix Resurrections.
Look at all these good actors.
Folks, you know me. It's John Cena. The amount of this Peacemaker gave John Cena so much to eat at the table that I now staunchly believe he is the best wrestler turned actor of all of them. The vulnerability and comedy and depth that he's able to play is incredible. And it's so great to see James Gunn give him this opportunity. I would love to see more of this kind of capability from John Cena in the future because he clearly has it. I hope more people offer it to him. Just incredible.
I also picked John Cena. This was a good list of people, but I feel like the person who demonstrated the most of like what they could be. Like I feel like I know what all these other actors are capable of. Peacemaker showed me that John Cena is now one of them. Before he was kind of like, and this is no disrespect to The Rock, but The Rock, he has become who he is, right? He's playing kind of the same guy in a lot of the things. This was showing me John Cena is an actor. Like this dude's an actor. This dude can cry on cue almost like nonstop. Like this dude's constantly crying. Oh my God. Too much emotion, John. He's a great wrestler. John Cena, I cannot wait to see him just act more. Like, not even just be an action star. Like, I want to see him try. Like, I'm excited for the future of him.
I went for the role that stuck with me ever since I saw it, which was Keanu Reeves in The Matrix Resurrections.
That's awesome, man.
I think it's his best performance in a movie. I really love. He has this line that I've constantly been repeating to myself when it's like, well, we're, this is what the real world is like now, and he goes, "Real." There's that word again. And like, for some reason, that just keeps playing over and over in my mind. His story of, I don't want to fight. I don't care about your revolution. I just want Trinity.
Yeah.
I just want Trinity.
Sure.
Really love the vulnerability he brought to Neo. The clearly I can still kick your ass, but I don't want to anymore. I'm too old for this shit. Let me just be in peace. I loved it. I love his performance in that movie so much.
This was hard, but but the one I picked, I still feel that this actor did an amazing performance, especially for a character that's very well known and a lot of people know. And I went with Robert Pattinson for Batman. He did such a very well done Batman. I don't want to say young Batman because Christian Bale did a good young Batman, but you can tell this is Batman in the very beginning of his career. This is Batman who still doesn't know all the things that like future Batman can do. And he's still a little clumsy. He still takes punches, but he rolls with it. And also, I love the scene that got me was the Riddler scene where Riddler is in the cell and he goes Bruce Wayne and he says the name over and over and you think, oh shit, he knows. But then you see him instantly lower his guard when he's like, yeah, that's the one that got away, but we still did some great things, didn't we?
That is a really good scene to demonstrate, Ben, because like Robert Pattinson is such a great actor. He does so much eye acting in this movie. Like, he has to be like almost crying like all the time because like that's like where the real emotion comes. Like, he is so good at that. So like that is a really good scene to talk about. Like, because like the scene where it's like he thinks he's caught and then he knows he's not caught anymore. You see the relief leave his body. Like, that is some good acting. Absolutely.
Like he's still in the shadows, but you still see his eyes, and then of course it's like a second. He realized, okay, he doesn't know. He goes into the light and he faces Riddler face to face, kind of behind through the glass, and that scene is just so good. I mean, don't get me wrong, John Cena was amazing. All the other actors in this, like Keanu Reeves, like Brandon, you were talking about, it's like, man, Keanu Reeves did do an amazing job in The Matrix, but to me, it had to be Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, this was tight, but there's a clear victor, and the winner is, of course,
and his name is John Cena.
Yes!
Yes! by so much, it's John Cena.
Oh god, that's the greatest thing that's ever happened.
That was so great.
Sparks called me this morning and said, I'm going to tell you one of the winners because I need your help with this.
It's so good.
It was such a landslide victory. I was like, I want to do this. So I clipped out a bit for Brandon to play. John Cena for Peacemaker won.
Incredible. Good job, man. John. You follow me and 300,000 other people on Twitter.
Can I say I've been really stressed about that moment all night. I'm really glad it worked out.
Dude, chat is blowing up right now. Okay, not blowing up.
We got a lot of people in the chat. Hello, everybody.
Catherine Root is saying LMAO. Sam is saying yes. Grayson saying that was perfectly timed, which it was.
Really, really happy for that. Really happy for John Cena getting that win from a lot of people.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear John Cena's name at the Oscars. Like I truly love his performance in that movie and that show. I think he's got the chops for it.
I want to see John Cena win awards, man. He's so good.
I know we're doing this live, but I want to rewind back to the part where it's like, his name is John Cena.
So happy for that. We will move on to our next category, which is Best visual effects. This is another one where Ryan gave me a little bit of guff and wrote in Dune, which would have been Tristan Miles and Paul Lambert, but I did not.
I'm just saying, you guys put the Book of Boba Fett over Dune on this one. This is all I'm saying.
That's fair. Dune got so much love at the Oscars, we didn't feel too bad about it.
Oh, you mean all the stuff that wasn't shown on TV? Cool.
Absolutely. That's true. We are nominating for this category John DJ Desjardins for Godzilla vs. Kong, Kelvin McIlwain and Fiona Campbell for The Suicide Squad, Scott Edelstein for Spider-Man No Way Home, Richard Bluff for The Book of Boba Fett, and Sven Gilberg for Free Guy. My vote went to Godzilla vs. Kong very quickly and easily.
Yeah.
I think that movie looks incredible. Like, honestly, way better than I feared it would when we were hearing about it coming and everything. Like, we've said it time and time again about Godzilla vs. Kong, but the fact that the nighttime fight scene looks so colorful and vibrant, and that I see everything and they look incredible, and that's all visual effects, amazing. Just amazing. I really wanted to give Godzilla vs. Kong the love on this one, so that's where I went.
Right.
I also picked Godzilla vs. Kong
in the absence of Dune,
because honestly, these other movies, their special effects are good. They're fine. They're great. Godzilla Kong is the winner of this list.
I will also say I was curious about why the Book of Boba Fett was on this list. I'll be honest. I didn't fight too hard for it.
I mean, to be fair, like it or not, Luke is visual effects.
That's true. And he does look pretty good.
And he looks very good.
The acting of it is what distracts it.
I agree with you.
I really like the Suicide Squad visual effects of Starro. I rewatched Free Guy recently. I think the movie looks great. But for me, it went for Godzilla vs. Kong for many of the same reasons what you said, Sparks. I just think that movie looks so vibrantly beautiful. A lot of the fight sequences are so well choreographed, and that's all visual effects. Mm-hmm. I don't think Godzilla has looked better on screen. Honestly, like I think the way he is rendered and the way he moves is just really good stuff. Yeah, like the movie a whole lot.
And I remember like just bringing it up when we were watching that movie all together at home because we had to. And when you get that first moment with Godzilla in the movie, and it's the coming down over the water, and he's all glowing blue, and he comes up from the water and he roars, and you're like, holy shit, this movie visually is on a whole other level than what we saw in King of the Monsters. It was just incredible.
Yeah. My vote also is for Godzilla vs. Kong. I I don't have anything else more to say.
You know what? Don't tell me the winner if it's not Godzilla vs. Kong.
Well, you don't need to worry, because the winner is John DJ Desjardins for Godzilla vs. Kong.
Beautiful. Love it. Love that movie. How was it not nominated at the Oscars for visual effects?
I thought that too. Like, when I saw both Shang-Chi and Spider-Man up there, I'm like, Godzilla vs. Kong got snubbed. Those visual effects were incredible.
Yeah, that's a weird.
Like, I get it not winning, but it should have been nominated over some of those others options.
Yeah,
it should.
It didn't get the traction or attention it deserved. Moving on, our next category is Best Score, with Michael Giacchino for The Batman, Hans Zimmer for Dune, Christoph Beck for Free Guy, Michael Giacchino for Spider-Man No Way Home, he's up here twice, and Ludwig Göransson for Turning Red.
I want to real quickly say, Grayson said in his vote, I'm going to call you out, I'm going to call a vote out. He just said Michael Giacchino.
Oh.
So I'm sorry, buddy. I couldn't count it because I didn't know who you meant.
You know what? We were having lunch when we were recording yesterday, and he told me, he's like, yo, Brandon just messaged me. I was like, what about was? Like, I said Michael Giacchino. I was like, oh, because he's up there twice.
Wait, real quickly. I want to clarify. He did eventually say Spider-Man. So,
Okay. I went through a bit on this one because, of course, Dune is great.
Yeah.
Part of me wanted to give it to Free Guy because Christoph Beck is expanding on a piece of music I already loved and then making that score. So the sucker in me kind of wanted to give it to that. And then I got really close to giving it to Turning Red because I watched it again here. And Jeremy pointed out to me how throughout the film, Göransson is interweaving the stylings of the family and the grandma and the aunties who come in at the end with the boy band music in the score frequently throughout the film, that you're getting both of those pieces before they ultimately boom right at the end for that conclusion. And I had to say that was so impressive when I was paying attention to it that it almost took this all away from me. But then I went to the theaters and I saw the Batman again. And I thought about how much I walk around after I see that movie and just go bum, 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 bum in my head. And I gave it to the Batman, Michael Giacchino. Amazing score.
These are all terrific and excellent scores. I also, even though I picked Dune, it was a challenge because there's not one but two Giacchino scores that I've listened to endlessly at work on my Spotify account. Like specifically like the No Way Home stuff. It's like, man, this is like almost too good to be in a Spider-Man movie. Jesus Christ. But I did pick Dune because he's just doing lots of really impressive, unique things that you don't normally see in big blockbusters. Like, when's the last time you really heard bagpipes in a big blockbuster? It's literally never. He invented shit for this movie. Like, again, like the journey of him making this music, he's made just hundreds of hours of just like background noise of Dune, and like the work. Not that I'm not saying anyone else put less work into their work and other things, but like he really dived into this project and lived with it for so long. So I picked it.
And to be honest, like full disclosure, it did come down to for me. I did start to, just acknowledging my bias, I did start to like let Dune go because Dune got it at the Oscars, and I'm like, I really want to highlight one of these other incredible scores. But like, fair, Dune is an amazing score. It's very true.
I was pretty close to doing Spider-Man No Way Home because of the way that Giacchino interweaves the Elfman and Horner scores into his, and I was pretty close to it, but man, that Batman score is really good.
Yeah.
So I went to Michael Giacchino for the Batman.
I also went for Michael Giacchino for the Batman because, just like Sparks, I would be at work or I'm even playing Elden Ring, and Elden Ring has a really, really good score attached to it. But when I'm thinking about that game when I'm elsewhere, I just think the Batman song with dun, 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 dun. It's just so good. It fits with practically everything. It's like a Giles theme or something. So that's why I voted for it.
It's deceptive in its simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was very close between Dune and the Batman, but the winner is Michael Giacchino for the Batman.
Nice.
So like the Batman's theme is incredibly good. The Riddler's theme, which is like Ave Maria, but like, you know, mixed up. Catwoman's theme is excellent as well. Beautiful strings, high strings. Like every character has a unique theme. Man, just Giacchino is like, he really is like the modern day John Williams. Like that dude can do it all. He's incredible.
Yeah. I fully agree. Our next category is Best Actress, and the nominees are Margot Robbie for The Suicide Squad, Zoe Kravitz for The Batman, Daniela Melchior for The Suicide Squad, Emma Stone for Cruella, and Catherine Hahn for WandaVision. My vote for this one did go to Margot Robbie. I honestly had probably the hardest time, I think, of all of them with this category because I truly love all of them. I pushed for Daniela Melchior to be on here because I really love Ratcatcher 2 and wanted to give Ratcatcher 2 love. But I kept thinking about Margot Robbie's performance in the scene where she's relating all the pain she's felt about trying to find herself after breaking up with the Joker, which isn't even textually important in the Suicide Squad, yet there it is in that monologue, and the way she performs it. And just the fact that she's always been incredible as Harley, but here, especially getting to that moment was so powerful for me. I had to go with Margot Robbie.
This was a tough category. Besides Emma Stone, like I like Cruella a lot, but like I was thinking of these other four. I almost picked Catherine Hahn just because like that is an actress that I really love, and it's really cool to see her blow up in such a big way, especially as a villain. I did pick Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman in the Batman. That is just a fully realized character that I love so much. That it's specifically like the type of version of a character like from Tom King's Batman that I just like. I can't believe I got this so perfectly well adapted on screen. DC's killing it, man. Like recently, like Harley is like, as a character I never cared about before. Now I love Harley Quinn. Like I've always liked Catwoman, but like the representation on screen hasn't been good. Just good for DC all around. But I picked Catwoman.
Yeah.
This one was really hard. But ultimately, I went with Catherine Hahn from WandaVision. I really like how she's just eating the scenery.
Yeah.
Every scene she's in, she takes away from everyone that she's playing with. Really liked her performance.
I had to go with Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman in the Batman. She was just phenomenal in this role. So, I mean, the more I thought, I want to say that the reason why I picked Zoe Kravitz is also partially because of recency bias, because I just saw the Batman more recently than I did see a lot of the other stuff. But then I started thinking about it, I was like, but man, Margot Robbie did an amazing job. Like the scene that Sparks you were talking about with the leader of the country, where she's talking about her breakup, or like the thing with her and the Joker. That was such a really good scene. And even the scene with Ratcatcher 2 where she's talking about her dad. I was like, man, that was also such a really good scene. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, but Zoe Kravitz just nailed it as Catwoman. Just straight up nailed it. Gotta get the Catwoman.
Yeah. The winner is, in fact, Catherine Hahn for WandaVision.
Wow.
Not even bad. Love it.
Good for her.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool on that one. Our next category is deserves more engagement. This is one that we were actually really fond of wanting to do. This is one where we wanted to spotlight something that at least two of us have watched that we really wish more people were engaging with. I'll be honest, one of the nominees is on this list, and I do know that outside of the Fake Nerd Circle, it actually has gotten a lot of good engagement. And I realize that I wish one of you was also watching Legends of Tomorrow, because I wish I could put Legends of Tomorrow on here at this point, but I can't. So here we are, and the nominees are Motherland Fort Salem, Arcane, Godzilla Singular Point, The Owl House, and Star Trek Lower Decks. My vote went to Motherland Fort Salem. Easily. Ryan and I, when we're watching it, can't stop talking about it on the podcast, saying we wish more people were watching it. I want to eat up that world in lore, in books, in comics, in movies, in spinoffs. I want it. That world is so cool, and I don't think it gets nearly enough buzz for how great it is.
I also picked Motherland Fort Salem. I almost picked the Owl House. But I feel like Motherland has even less people on it than the Owl House, because like the Owl House is like a really great progressive animated show, and Motherland is a really cool progressive show that just no one's ever heard of or watches. So like I picked that one. It is so wholly unique and cool. Again, it's about female military witches, and like it sounds like it could be really bad, but like just the way it's handled is so insanely cool. Really unique, really great.
Yeah.
This was another tough one for me because I really like three of these shows. Star Trek Lower Decks is on here. I really like Star Trek Lower Decks, but I kind of wanted to go like, what do I just think more people need to be watching and more people need to be talking about? Because it's I really want you guys to watch Lower Decks, but like that's not like the whole wider world. So I did Arcane because I'm just like, everybody needs to watch Arcane and everybody needs to talk about Arcane. We need to live in Arcane. Like this is what we need.
I'm really impressed with that, because like I'm glad Arcane has that much impact on you, because Godzilla Singular Point is here, and I know you want more people to be watching that show.
I know, but we're not getting that second season.
It's true.
Sad.
Yeah. I picked Owl House. I mean, the more I think about it, yeah, because there are a few people on my Twitter timeline that do talk about the Owl House. They do tweet pictures and post fan art and stuff, so it does get some certain engagement. But then at the same time, not a lot of people are talking about that show, and that show is fantastic. It's an amazing show, and yeah, I feel it does deserve more engagement. So that way, and also the way I see it, the more engagement it gets, the more Disney maybe will walk back on their whole thing. I was saying, never mind. But
no,
it's probably not going to happen.
Too late for that.
I think this will be our signature award.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I do like it.
And the winner is?
The winner is just eking by Motherland Fort Salem.
Really?
Really. I was really happy to see it. We did get just enough votes for Motherland Fort Salem to clear it.
Somebody else watches that show?
Yeah, we got 6 votes on it.
I'll take
really happy to see it, which I guess also is kind of counter to the point of the award.
Yeah, but still, like that's like I fully expected us to have the only 2 votes for that show, like for real. So
I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased.
Nice. That 3rd season's not out yet, right?
That 3rd season is not out yet. It should be out, I think, in the summer.
3rd and final.
All right, I got time.
Okay, friends, we're down to our last 2 categories. Here we are. Best Animated Film. The nominees are Mitchell's versus the Machines, Luca, Lupin the Third, the First, Raya and the Last Dragon, and Turning Red. We all know how I felt about the Oscars and where it should have gone for the animated film at the Oscars. It's Mitchell's versus the Machines for me.
I wrote in Dune. No, I picked Mitchell versus the Machines. That movie, I cannot believe that movie didn't win an Oscar. It's so sad. It's so good. It's incredible. Truly incredible.
I'll be perfectly honest. I almost picked Lupin the Third, just because I wanted to give it the love.
Sure.
But you know how much I love Mitchell's versus the Machines. It had to be Mitchell's versus the Machines.
I also want to give Lupin the Third the First some love because that is a fantastically made movie. It looks gorgeous, but also Mitchell's versus Machines. I am still pretty mad, pretty salty that it didn't win that Oscar.
The only thing that upset me in last week's Oscars.
Yeah. Well, I do have to share with you guys that the winner for this one, in a landslide, is Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Yes,
I knew it. I saw what you were doing.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to say Raya, and I was like, I like Raya, I guess.
I like Raya.
Turning Red.
God, it even came out.
Turning Red was second.
Okay,
but again, a landslide for Mitchell's versus the Machines.
If Turning Red or Luca were to beat out Mitchell's versus Machines, I would not have been upset because I love both of those movies, but Mitchell's is better.
Mitchell's is the greatest animated film that came out last year.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Sorry, Encanto.
It is the Arcane of cinema.
Yeah.
Encanto, you're a good movie, but you're not as good as Mitchell's versus Machines. I'm sorry.
I agree. And our last category, Best Live Action Film. The nominees are Dune, The Matrix Resurrections, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Batman, and Free Guy. My vote in this category went to The Batman. After seeing it a second time, it became crystal clear to me how much I really, really, truly love that movie. There's so much in it that I just dig. If it wasn't The Batman, it was very likely going to be The Matrix Resurrections.
Nice.
But it is, for me, The Batman.
Yeah, it's no surprise it's Dune. We don't often like. I love even Free Guy. Like I love every movie on this list. I've seen versions of all these movies before in some way or another. Dune, even I've gotten an adaptation of Dune. That's not the book whatsoever. The fact that they were able to turn that incredibly dense, really hard book into something that's palatable for the mainstream audience, made it with care. You treated it like with maturity. And it's a hardcore science fiction movie that people liked. And again, like Lord of the Rings is the last time something this like that I think was like this big and successful at what it was trying to do. So I have to give it to Dune. I've wanted to see the Batman for the 4th time, but this is like the 10th Batman movie. Like I love it. I've seen it before in a way. I have not seen something like Dune in the same way. So I picked it.
This one was really hard for me. I love all these movies, but ultimately I had to make a choice, and so I'm gonna stick with it. I picked The Batman.
Good. It's a good movie.
Should have picked Matrix. Damn it.
This one, shockingly enough, wasn't super hard for me, and I will admit it was based on hype. It was based on I guess fan service is another way to put it, but also just the fact that the final product that we got was an amazing experience, not just in a movie theater, but as a film itself for me. And it was so good just to see all this stuff. It's like, this can happen in a cinematic universe.
Matrix Resurrections, right?
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Good choice. Good movie.
Yeah, it got me good. It got me really good. Not to say like Dune was amazing. Dune is amazing. I mean, yes, I know if I had to like really be technical about it, Dune is the best live action movie out of all of these. But just for me, sitting down and just watching that Spider-Man movie, I am itching to buy that film on Blu-ray. I am itching. I might even go hunt down the steelbook for it. I don't care, because that movie was just so damn good, and it was so much fun to watch.
In a year of blockbuster movies, like if looking at this lineup, like I like Free Guy, but like I'm just gonna move it away. But like Dune, Matrix, Spider-Man, Batman, those are all insanely incredible blockbuster big movies. Like we don't get years like this all the time. Like this was a good year. Good.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
we're
really
in the middle of
was.
the year. It's kind of weird,
It
but like you know
was.
what I mean.
Winner?
The winner is Spider-Man: No Way Home.
There you go.
Yep.
Congratulations, Spider-Man: No Way Home. You were never going to get it at the Oscars.
That's
Weird. Yeah.
That's that. That is our Fake Nerd Awards 2022. Thank you for joining us.
Love it.
Really happy we did this. I thought this was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate, again, everybody who voted. Instagram, Twitter, DMing me or Brandon personally. Like, thank you. Really, really grateful.
Yeah, heck yeah. And we can plan it a little earlier next year.
We'll make a bigger show of it.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this.